안녕하세요. I'm Jennifer Jung Kim, one of the instructors in the KCCLA Korean language program. In this episode, you'll learn about Hanbok, traditional Korean attire. You'll see examples of elegant and vibrant Hanbok, and also see how dynamic it is, changing continuously through history and with fashion trends. You'll also learn how Hanbok is still an important part of Korean culture today, and finally, we'll cover a proverb about clothing. So let's get started. This is the Virtual Korean Language and Culture Series, Ep.7, Korean Attire. The word Hanbok refers to traditional Korean clothing or attire. The Han is the same Han as in Hanguk for Korea or Hangugo for the Korean language. 입다 means to wear or to put on clothing, but this can be a bit tricky. If we presume that the unspoken subject of the sentence 한복을 입어요 is the first person I, the sentence means I wear hanbok, and the past tense 한복을 입었어요 could mean I wore hanbok, but it could also mean that I put it on and I'm still wearing it, similar to I put on a dress this morning could mean I'm still wearing that dress. An important point to remember is that hanbok were not the same throughout history. Hanbok changed by time period, region, and also reflected the class of the wearer. Hanbok today continues to change with fashion trends. This is Queen Hanbok, who ruled Shilla in the 7th century, as depicted in the drama Hanbok Yewang or Queen Hanbok. She was one of 3 female monarchs in Shilla. She inherited the throne from her father, who was the last male hallowed bone, or Sanggol. Rather than go to a male of a lower rank, the crown passed to Hanbok. Notice her gold crown and ornate clothing. Shilla clothing was very different than the hanbok we're familiar with today. Here we have Wanggeon, also known as King Taejo, the founding king of Goryeo as seen in the drama Taejo Wanggeon. Goryeo attire was also unique, as it was during this time that Korea developed sericulture and the ruling elites were able to wear domestic silk. This is King Sejong the Great, Sejongdaewang, the 4th king of Joseon. Here he's depicted in the drama Daewang Sejong or the Great King Sejong. Joseon court attire was modeled on Ming court attire, so we see differences from the previous kingdoms. You may be familiar with King Sejong the Great for his many cultural accomplishments. For example, he's credited with the invention of the Hunminjeongeum, the phonetic writing system that was the earlier form of Hangul still used today. KCCLA has this bride and groom's hanbok on display. This is an example of daeraebok, or formal ritual attire, that was worn at the palace, but commoners could wear it on their wedding day to mark the importance of the wedding ritual. The basic elements of hanbok for females is the chima jogori. Chima means skirt, and jogori refers to the top. Both male and female jogori feature gorum, long ties that fasten the top together. The gorum are tied in a special way that looks like a flattened one-sided bow. Yangban females also wore the tangi, an elongated form of jogori. Yangban were the hereditary aristocracy, and in Joseon only Yangban males could sit for the civil service examinations to become government officials. This tangi is different in that it uses both traditional techniques such as the embossed silver, as well as new materials, like the circular lace in a traditional pattern. Here we see a young man in a magoja jacket worn over the jogori top and baji pants. The pants are very baggy and tie at the ankles. This young man is wearing a sangtu or top knot, which in earlier times would have meant that he was married. Sometimes Yangban males wore topo, a very long coat over their baji. Here we also see the kat or horsehair hat, which accommodates for the top knot. Although most people don't wear hanbok much these days, it is still a part of special occasions. Here we see a little boy in a dolbok, which is the name of the hanbok worn on the first birthday, or dol. The colorful stripes on the sleeves are called sekdong and are often a feature of young children's clothing. This is a little girl in her dolbok. She also has the colorful stripes on her sleeves, but it's in a different color scheme than the traditional sekdong colors. Here we see a little boy in his dolbok, and we see his older sister or nuna in her hanbok in coordinating colors. Although couples usually wear Western clothes for the main wedding ceremony, they often change into hanbok to greet guests during the reception. Some couples also wear the terebok to bow to their parents for the pebek ceremony that used to mark the bride's entry into her husband's household. The bride's terebok is also called harot and is similar to the attire that was worn by royal women for special ceremonies. This bride and groom are wearing styles of hanbok that are very popular today. Notice the bride's tangi featuring lace. The groom is wearing tapo, or a short-sleeved outer layer. A long-sleeve version is called turumagi. Modern women around the world in the early 20th century were called new women. New women in Korea had modern-style wedding ceremonies wearing either white hanbok or a Western-style wedding dress. This is a more recent bride wearing a white hanbok on her wedding day. Today, some people wear more practical forms of hanbok called 생활 hanbok or lifestyle hanbok. This image is from an ad noting that it is the airport outfit favored by Jungkook of BTS. He's been seen wearing this type of hanbok as his travel outfit. Shinhanbok means new style hanbok and are inspired by traditional hanbok but have a new twist. This example of Shinhanbok is attributed to Hwang Jin-hee, a famous kiseng or courtesan entertainer of 16th century Joseon. Hwang Jin-hee is said to have been very beautiful and very talented, and she's often depicted in a flower print jogori and red chima. Here the chima is short, falling just below the knees. On the right, we see a hanbok-inspired evening gown with Korean embroidery, but it also has a white jogori that can be worn over it to look more traditional. This is another shinhanbok with Korean embroidery on top, but with a shorter skirt. She's also wearing norige ornaments that are often worn with hanbok. Now, let's learn our proverb for the episode. 옷이 날개다. 옷 means clothes, and 날개 means wings. Notice how the word 옷 sort of looks like a stick figure drawing of a person. Clothes are wings, or clothes give you wings. We can also think of the English expression, clothes make the man, or perhaps in this case, clothes make the little girl. While the English expression could mean that we're judged by what we wear, the Korean expression says the right clothes can help us soar to new heights. 옷이 날개다. Thank you for watching another episode of the KCCLA Virtual Korean Language and Culture series. This has been an episode of the KCCLA Virtual Korean Language and Culture series. If you're in LA, we hope you'll soon have the opportunity to visit us in person at 5505 Wilshire Boulevard in the Miracle Mile. Meanwhile, please visit our website at www.kccla.org. And please follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, sign up for notifications, like, comment, and share. Thank you. 감사합니다.